All right, live a whole minute early today. Oh, wasn't sure if I was gonna make it on time. My girlfriend's car's starter went out, so I have to have somebody come to the house and fix that. Um, and and then so he fixed that, and he broke one other thing. Now he's got to go run and get something else. So here we are. Barely made it. Oh, and I was just taking a look. I don't know if Steven's gonna stop by, but maybe he'll eventually watch this. That SPX close on Wednesday. I had a 1 DTE, and the short strike price on the bottom side was 4,400, and holy smokes, there was a wick all the way down. What was this? The low was 43.97.59, so $2.50 out of the money, like just for I don't know how many seconds there, and then it actually closed at. I remember this day closed at 4,427 cents, and had I taken profits like anywhere throughout the entire day, I could have closed it for $5. And then that last, how many minutes was that? That was 12 to. Like last 40 minutes right before close, it almost just totally clapped me, and I went from 100% down to would have lost like 3 times my premium on it. But oh my gosh, talk about, that's like the closest trade I think I've ever had. Even though my risk wasn't all that high, I didn't have a ton of money in there. But it just sucks going from like, oh, easy win, everything's closing good, to it looks like now I'm gonna have to pay so much to close this, or I'm gonna get exercise on, which would have sucked. What's up, Velocity, A, B, C, D, E, and Charles? What's going on, guys? Yeah, I was curious. I was thinking, actually thinking through a few different things today. One, I was wondering, how much stock do you guys own in companies that you use? I always like to buy stuff that I use. So like, Broke Malone, still my favorite username. I love it. But I love to own stock in stuff I use, like Netflix and Google and Amazon, and T-Mobile is my service provider, and like there's so many things that I give money. Like I give money to monthly. I guess I gave Tesla a lot of money, and I'm gonna give them more with my solar project too. But it's so nice to like own the company that I'm paying out to all the time. If anybody buys a new Apple, like a new phone every year, I mean, that's, what is it, like $1,000 or something like that every year. I wish I could buy it into Samsung, but I don't think they're public. Haven't looked into them, but that's a phone I've been using for quite a few years now. Oh, let's see. I wanted to grab. $1,200 a year. $1,200 a year into Apple that you just pay for your phone. They're expensive. I bought my girlfriend one the last time. She was like going from a 7 to a what did she get? Not this last one. I don't know what's out right now, 13 or a 12 or something. Bought the kid one. Man, it's expensive. I justify it. I write mine off, thankfully, since I put everything, at least enough money into an LLC that I trade in, and now I can write the cost of my phone off because I use it for trading, which is super nice. I can write that off. I can write my phone bill off. My case, if I used one but I don't use the case. All that that crap. Chargers. What's going on here? I'm just looking through some comments that I had, see if there's anything specifically I need to go over. Yeah, you're gonna do the same thing. Looking to make an LLC and trade with that. Yeah, it just makes so much sense. I don't know how much you've looked into it, but never dealt with the CPA. Any tips? Yeah, just call one. Like, so call a few, talk to them, like, let them know what you're thinking about doing. Make sure they're familiar with it, and they're like, yeah, okay, I have clients that do that, so they know that you need to take a trader election before the end of the year. I know that's like one big thing. Make sure you just like their personality and you feel like it's somebody you can work with, kind of like I mean, just like any contractor or anything that you would work with, like you want to have a decent working relationship. They're dealing with your money, and you don't want somebody that's like a big jerk or you guys just don't get along. I think there's somewhere there should be, maybe in the Discord, contact for Sarah, the one that I've used for a few years. I really like her. She knows what she's doing. But then they can kind of like walk you through all the stuff you can write off, which is going to be a portion of your rent. So like this room that I'm in, I can take the square footage of this room and like the taxes that I pay, mortgage that I pay, as a percentage of the whole home. I get to write that off. I get to write off my computer that I use, like just basically anything, electricity, a portion of that, internet, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. But just find one that you like, that, you know, that seems like that's something they're familiar with, because I've talked to a few, and some of them are, you know, they're H&R Block guys, and maybe they're really good at what they generally do, but wouldn't know about the trader election. And also, if you are gonna do the trader election, and I actually do have a video where I walk through those specifically because she sent them to me, and there's like specific things you need to do. I don't know how much you trade, but it's like you can't just make 2 trades a week and then be able to take advantages of having an LLC or trading in a or take trader election, without making a certain amount of trades. So there's like a minimum amount of trades. You have to like get in and out of trades under a certain period of time. I can't actually remember them all, but it's not like if you're somebody who just swing trades once a week, you're not going to qualify unless you can really justify it. But there's like a whole list of things, and hopefully the CPA you find is familiar with all of them. And then you don't need it. The other thing is you don't need anybody local, since it's all federal stuff for the most part. So I think she's in, I want to say she's in Colorado, but it's funny, I've had 3 CPAs, and they're worth way more than whatever you're going to pay them. And it's also very worth knowing what you're going to get into. Like, if you're just starting out, you're making however much money, and you have no idea how much is going to go to taxes, they can set you straight on that. But there's no need for them to be local. I've had 3 of them. I've never met a single one in person, and I've only done one Zoom call with her just because we did the video together where she walked through some basic stuff. So, yeah, just call a few. And now's probably a pretty decent time. It's kind of before it's like right in between the two deadlines. So people who did extend it or got an extension, they have a little ways, and other people have already filed. So FLGC and RGC were the lead gainers on Friday and both on my recent mini IPO list. I don't know what those are. What are they? Dang. Yeah, that had a nice day. Are IPOs back? now that we got past Coinbase and then Robinhood did so well, are they back now? You've been looking at some on Upwork, familiar with trading? Like some CPAs on Upwork? I would never think about that. And Upwork's just kind of like a whatchamacallit? Upwork's just kind of like a isn't it like a gig thing? Where okay. Yeah, CPA, like I feel I would love to have my CPA all year round, but I also have other things I've done with her. So before I even got into the LLC with trading, I have an Amazon business too. And so that's initially why I contacted her, and I was referred to someone else by her. So I have that. So that's where I initially engaged her, and then I was like, hey, I'm starting to do this pretty seriously with quite a bit of money, and what are my tax implications here? And she was able to get me through that. But I like having them like just, okay, similar to Fiverr, but more freelancing. Maybe that's a good place. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, if you want to give her a call, shoot her an email. I know her contact information somewhere. At least I'm pretty sure it's in the Discord somewhere. If not, like in the link, if you look up tax stuff on my million videos, you'll find her, and her information would be there. But I just like to be able to call or email, just like when I have random question throughout the year. And then she has a place which is like really nice, like as I get things. So as I get different statements from different companies, I can just drop them to her. She has like a secure, I don't know, it's kind of like almost like a Dropbox thing, but it's just all goes to her like in my folder. So like W-2s, 1099s, all those things, they just get dropped into things, and then she can access them as I need them. What's up, Velocity? Mini IPOs are offerings below 50 million. There have been about 50 of them since December 2020. Dots was the fourth lead gainer Friday. It mini IPO'd last week. What are they? What is Flora Growth Corp? Or is that the SPAC? Stockboy, could use your help. Have a question? Go ahead and ask. You want to know how to roll out options? A, B, C, D, E. I did it yesterday in my video, I'm pretty sure, live. I do tons of them. I know you can find step by step how to do it. Pretty easy. Is there an issue you're having specifically? Dang. Looks like I need to pay attention to this mini IPO list. Okay, so a bio company. Wait. Regal Entertainment Group? Why is it showing? That's funny that it's showing Regal. Regencell. Did they take their old ticker or something? Okay. All right. I sold a cash secured put on Myrna, $400 strike. And where is Myrna? Okay. And got assigned 200 shares. So you sold 2 puts, I assume. Been selling covered calls, but still underwater on the trade. Just worried about Myrna pulling back and being stuck. Any thoughts or advice on Moderna? I don't know. I have not been. I have Moderna in my long term that I've been holding for a long time. Um, I mean, geez, they're almost they're $12 away from where you got assigned. Did you collect decent premium? Oh, you probably sold it when it was up, up like I'm gonna guess. Did you sell it when it was up like close to 500? Collected like barely anything for premium, and then got assigned to it, or then got assigned the shares. Looks like it's pretty good after hours though. And Moderna's just been. I think long term they're good. Not something I would really worry about holding long term, but I mean, since they did spend so much time way down there, man, I need to look at my long term with. I don't even know how much Moderna I have. I probably only have like 10 shares or something like that, not very much. Let's see. And if you're worried, I don't know. I don't know how much premium you can get. Can you sell like? Can you sell them like at the money to get assigned and collect enough to where you're break even? Do I think it will go above 400? I don't know. I think it like eventually. I think it will. I don't know what the short term. I have no idea what the short term outlook is for it. And now we have that whole second round of booster shots. And I know they're involved in more than that. I don't know the company like inside and out, like I do some of them, at all. So I'm probably not a good person to ask about like what their, near term month or two looks like. Totally wish I had more for you on that. But what shot him up? So I would look at like what was since I don't know this, I would try to understand. Oh, it was earnings that did it. Okay, so earnings what shot it up from $400 to $500. And have you collected enough premium to where you could sell them now and not be out anything? And I think this is also one of those things like the big overall lesson for this for those that you sold would be, is Moderna a company that you want to own? And if you did not want to own it, you should not have sold those cash covered puts on it. Like when you're doing that, it has to be a company you're fine holding in perpetuity, 3 to 5 years. Like otherwise just selling them on a company that, because all this stuff can come down, right? Moderna could come down to $100. Anything could happen. Some black swan event could absolutely happen, like on anything. And if that's gonna like crush you like emotionally, don't sell the cash cover puts on that stock. So like if I sold them on most everything I sold them on, and not that I have not made that mistake, but everyone in general, that would be the rule of thumb. Sell it on something that you don't mind owning long term, that you're fine with holding on to for years and years if you needed to because you believe in the company. I know sometimes it can be very tempting to sell like when you see a lot of premium on something, but it's just like long term, not a great idea at all. So most of my stuff that I got, most of the calls I got or puts that I got assigned on were all companies during like the crash, collected good premium, and they were things that I wanted to get assigned on. Like if you look through my portfolio of all those like stock I bought super cheap, there were all assignments like Gap, Tapestry, Cedar Fair, like all things I got assigned on, and I was perfectly fine waiting. I know the pandemic is going to be over at some point, or we're going to recover, but they're all things that have like they're 300% up because, you know, everything's up since that time. You're just looking for income. Yeah, find a company, like, do it. I love selling cash covered puts, but do it on a company that you want to own, like, and then you won't care. If Moderna was a company that you loved and it drops down to $300, but you really loved the company, you wanted to be a part of it, you believed in what they were doing, it wouldn't bother you. But yeah, for the income side, I mean, I get it. I get it. But that's the difficult part about that. And I don't also know. I assume that huge gap up was just due to earnings, but I don't know if there's any other hype there that really changed things or not. I mean, overall, it looks good. I mean, the chart looks fantastic. Consolidation, gap up, consolidation, gap up. So it looks good. And now you can just sell calls for a long time on it too. What's my opinion on Michael Burry's ARK puts? I don't know about that guy. So I think he was scary. Like, whatever he thought was kind of like regarded as something that was like, oh, this guy can see things other people can't. But because he's famous because of The Big Short, right? If you look at Michael Burry's performance, he is severely, like, in his trading career, severely underperformed the S&P 500 severely. So even though he's had some good wins, his losses has way outdone his wins. And I'm not worried about it. What Kathy Woods does, just everything just resonates with me so much. That's one of the things I do listen to on a regular basis every time she puts out one of her really boring, for the most part, talks, but everything makes sense and how she thinks about it. She has a team behind her that does the research. So I'm definitely in her camp. And I don't know how much he shorted them or anything like that, or where his puts are. I don't care. I have an M1 Pi built with just ARK Invest, and I stick, I don't know, $40, $100, something like that, $40 or $100 or something like that a week, and just buy some of it up. I think she's way smarter than I am, for sure. FLGC is a cannabis stock headquartered in Toronto, but grows their product in Colombia. Hey, that's where most of us grew it for a long time. They got very favorable regulations coming out of Colombia a few weeks ago that shot the stock price up. Is that what happened with like Tilray too? Do you know about weed stocks? I'm just wondering, maybe you can answer that for me, because I'm wondering, why are all the weed stocks just generally down overall? I don't follow the space at all, but I've just noticed, like, the past couple months, they're kind of just like steadily down. And I did see that one piece of news, and maybe that was something similar. It was like right after hours or right before closing on Tilray, but that's like the last thing I've seen where it did pretty well. And I think it's sitting somewhere pretty low, like $12 and something like that. But from its, I mean, of course, that spike, I think it was just whatever memeness. But this like steady decline from these 30s down to, I mean, it's down to what, a third almost, where it is, almost down to a third. And I don't know if that's like overall market, if it was just like hyped, or what happened. Was it, I can't remember which day after hours, probably doesn't really matter. But if you follow them, you probably know the day. Oh, yeah. It was just right here. That was the last thing I saw that actually moved it. Someone sold calls on Myrna when it shot up. Decent. Oh, sold some calls on Myrna when it shot up. Yeah. On that crazy... on those just crazy ones, those crazy shoots. It almost looks good to buy the stock and then sell some calls like right at the money, collect it, and then you're kind of good on both sides if you like the stock. But not everybody has $40,000-$50,000 to be able to buy 100 shares of it too. I got to sign on skills and CHPT, which I don't know what it is. Selling calls on both probably take me a few months to break even, but I'm not too worried. Only like 3% of the portfolio. Just some, especially on some of the kind of unknown tech stocks to me. Those can be like a little bit scarier. Hopefully they don't end up like, what was the WeWork or something like that. Well, I guess that was not really a tech stock, but was like more of a real estate kind of situation. One topic I'd like to talk on is if you could share us the links from where you get your latest news on Tesla or just the index. I get, let's see, I'll put some links in, but I watched everything, first of all, like all their earnings reports and everything like that. So like I watched AI Day, which was mostly boring, I think, for most people. Like it's super cool, even though I can't wrap my mind around half of what they were saying on the technical side of things. But I understand what it's there for and what it's going to do. So that couple accounts I follow on Twitter that I think Sawyer Merritt, and then Tesla Daily, they'll tweet out things, and then also just like within Thinkorswim, like they just have little, they have a news tab and important things will come out. Some of them affects Tesla, some of them not. But then I also, because my phone is just used to look up so many Tesla things, all my feeds, like my Google feeds and stuff, will just pop up with news. So there's not a specific place or anything that I look. But I mean, like if you have a stock that you want to check out all the news on or people's opinions, just go to Twitter, type in $, and the ticker, and you'll see tons of it, tons and tons of it. Or sometimes it's Elon himself tweeting it out. And Twitter is fast. Like Twitter is fast with the news. I think that's probably the quickest you could ever possibly get it. Let's see. Poor man's cover call all the way. Yes, sir. Don't have that much experience with the weed stock in general. FLGC was on my radar, being a decent IPO. Yeah, I don't even know I know so little about the space. This is what I know is like all anecdotal. My friends who go to the stores and buy weed, I was like, what makes you buy one thing over the next? And they're like, well, I go to one store and then I go to the other store, and whatever thing was cheaper, that's what I buy. So that doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like a super great growth kind of thing. I'm still holding on to some Planet 13. I have 700 shares of that I bought down, like when it crashed and everything was like I think I bought it for $1, and then I added some, so my average cost I think is $2.12 or something like that. That's my only other weed stock. Yeah, that was amazing, but I'm also a nerd. Love the deep dive. Yeah. I thought it was amazing for like as little as I can understand. I thought it was amazing. I don't know. I've been totally thinking about like the bot, like the Tesla bot and like where that puts people down the road. And I was watching a talk from a professor one time, and like the biggest the biggest like employment problem is actually just like low IQ people, and those are the people that the bots are going to replace first. Which I don't know what you do with somebody when their capacity really is only maybe some crude construction, a laborer or something like that to be replaced down the road. I think eventually it's going to lead to communism or socialism. Like, I mean, it's going to be a long time down the road, but I think that's going to be inevitable. At least that's what I see. I thought it was great today. Even like when I'm doing chores around the house, I hired a guy to fix my girlfriend's car because I don't want to do that. But I go. We like literally have automatic everything. Do laundry, which is stick it in the machine, push a button, let that do its work. I vacuumed, push the button on the robot. Or I have one that does the downstairs. It's just programmed every day. Do my wash the dishes, like wash the dishes. All stick them in the box and push a button. All these things that we get done automated, and it's just getting like more and more. You imagine like doing those same chores like 200 years ago, like going down to the river and whatever you had to do, scrub your clothes out. I don't know how they had to do dishes, but we certainly didn't go through as many as we do nowadays. But it's crazy, just everything getting more and more automated. I would love to understand more about what exactly they were saying at AI Day, but I think I caught enough for my understanding level. I think it was pretty awesome. You agree stimulus checks will be in the future? Yeah, that universal income. I think so. It has to be. Like, I don't know. They say the innovation leads to more job creation, but at some level, there are some people that just do not have the capacity of teaching or programming a robot, or like they just won't. And the grocery bagger is not going to be a thing. I don't think people probably are not going to be a thing in the majority of customer service in, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years. I was thinking about, this is one of the things I thought about too, with the how one of like the qualities of the bots are they don't get frustrated, right? I was watching one day the vacuum robot thing vacuum underneath the table, and it was like hitting the legs on the chairs and kind of just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, man, it's like frustrating for me to watch. But I was like, that thing just doesn't care. It can go back and forth for 40 minutes and it just doesn't give a crap. And then I think about that from like a customer service standpoint. People could yell at the bot. They don't care at all. They'll just be like, yeah, I'm sorry. And they can do it for 24 hours a day. Where me, if I can't get something done, I'm super frustrated in minutes, and I'm like, there has to be software to do this faster. Like, someone has to have created something to get this task done easier and faster. Where the bots, they can do it. They can do it for 20 hours a day, charge for 4, good to go. Let's see. What's the best stock to sell? Cash covered puts on for income, not looking to get assigned, just weekly income. I don't know if there can't really be a best. Something volatile if you want a decent amount of income, because you don't want something that's not volatile and then for it to move, because then you're not collecting very much premium. And then you still run the risk of it getting assigned. I think at the end of the day, you need to find something that has some volatility to it and you just don't mind owning, because no matter what, there's potential, right? So, I mean, you do the Qs, the SPY, SPX, something like that. I don't think there's a best one though. maybe look into SPX, like iron condors, like 1 day, 3 day, 5 day. Look into that for income. Or if you have a good chunk of money, stick it into something that pays like 1% dividend a month. That's what QYLD does. JEPI's pretty close. And I don't know how much like of an account you're looking at and how much income you're looking for. And when you say income, is this like you're retired and you don't work and you really just need income, or you want just like not growth at all? You just literally need or want income, like you have $200,000 or $1 million sitting and you just want it. Best weekly strategy to play on Tesla. Well, weekly is not the best, just because I mean, a super far out of the money iron condor, I think if anything, sell puts, cash covered puts if you could afford it. One of those two. Cash covered puts, like for me, in my mind, you just can't go wrong, because worst case scenario is you end up with 100 shares of it. That would be the best. If you have an extra $66,000 or whatever it takes to own 100 shares. Actually, like just selling those monthly and then rolling them, cash secured puts, they're profitable over the long term, even if Tesla goes down. So excited for the future. Beat up the customer. Dude, some of the I feel bad. I feel bad for customer service people. Like I've caught myself in the past where I can't remember. Oh, I do remember. So I was purchasing I was purchasing hardware to buy to get like to build a new computer, and I think whatever hardware that I wanted. Oh, looks like we are super lagging. Hopefully the stream is okay. Looks dead. Jeez. Okay, hopefully this is going out and I'm not just talking to myself. Anyways, so I was purchasing new hardware for my computer to build, and then I think the money that I spent on the GPU, my credit card company declined it, and then after that they went out of stock. So I called and I was like super pissed that they declined the charge, and they're like, yeah, it looked like fraudulent because you're buying all this stuff. And then I was super mad, and I was getting mad at the girl, and then I was just like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I know you're not in charge of what American Express does, but the bots could take that. You can't just let people that don't have the capacity not to be able to survive and do jobs they can't, so unemployment will most likely be very common in 10 to 20 years. I 100% agree. I mean, I think even a lot of the technical fields, like, are we going to need engineers? I think AI is going to be much better than that. Like design, AI is going to be better at that. I was watching, OpenAI's new. I can't remember. Oh, they built a translator, and I think they wanted to be able to translate from any language to any other language, but they made it, or people were using it so they could translate English into actual code. Like, I can't remember if it was, I think there was like, he was either into like Python or maybe JavaScript. I can't remember, and I'm not super familiar with them, but it was something that the AI could take, like, hey, show me a picture of a boulder, make it fall, and like do all these things, and basically people could just program now in plain English, which, man, That's crazy. Before you actually had to learn the language, and now they're making it so you don't have to learn the language. That was a super cool presentation. I think it'll most likely have a negative effect on society. That's why I find interesting engineers and highly educated people starting to leave the norm and becoming farmers and nature types. Yeah, we're gonna end up with. I think we'll end up with like, what was that? Was that the Disney movie Eva or whatever like that, where everybody's like fat floating on like little couches, not doing anything? Retired 7-figure account. What have you looked into just like QYLD or Jeppy or something like that? I mean, a seven-figure account, that's $10,000 a month in dividends. I mean, that's Wally. Yeah, thank you. I was like, Eva's the girlfriend. But like $1 million, that's $10,000 income a month, and you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to touch it. Or do you like doing it? You like being active in your trading? Because that's I keep figuring like 2 million, 2.5 million, something to like one of those, like QLD, JEPI, one of those, and then just collect it. Why not? Damn, I watched that movie when I was like 8. If I only knew. It's so crazy. Like, it's coming fast too. Did a FINVIZ screener of the best performing stocks of this quarter. All recent mini IPOs. Nice. Imagine doing put credit spreads with $1 million. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you can do put credit spreads with $1 million. It's just like that much more at risk though. It's like, so I mean, like one of the huge advantages of like, you know, actually having the capital to sell cash secured puts, like with $1 million, you wouldn't want to screw that off and lose it. And I mean, that's enough to where you could. That's enough to where you can just do that cash covered put thing and collect the premium. You know what? Oh, how about Amazon? Just Amazon $3,000 puts. You could actually probably sell both sides. I mean, that thing's. What was I was talking to someone about that too. Amazon. I feel like that, man, that channel. Oh, oops, wrong one. Let's. No. Yeah, like selling the 3,000s. I mean, Amazon since when? June of 20. I mean, that's been barcoding, man. I watch these YouTube videos of people testing beta version of Tesla FSD. Feels like 2 steps forward, 1.9 step back. Very incremental improvements. Yes, I agree. Well, it actually, and it literally was, and it has been, because they'll train it on. They'll basically train it and then change something fundamentally, and then need to re-change it. They'll make a fundamental change and then retrain it going forward. So it literally is. It's like 2 steps forward and at least a step back, because then it's new learning within its new constraints, or like basically giving it a different set of eyes, a different way of thinking, and then going out and doing that again. So yeah, 100%. Damn, I watched the movie when I was like 8. If I only knew. It was scary. It's like a scary thing. Makes you want to go out for a run or something. Like, damn, dude, I need to exercise. Okay. What do you think you'll do when you retire? Good question. Kind of been asking myself that. I think a lot of traveling is just about the only thing I want to do. My girlfriend super loves to do anything charitable, so I'm sure that's going to be in the mix somewhere. But I don't know how that'll, like, her charity mostly is just giving away money. She gives away a lot of money. Doesn't matter if it's her last dollar or anything. She's amazing. But I don't know. My favorite thing I've done ever is just traveling and seeing different cultures, and I don't need much more entertainment than that. Like when I go to another country I've never been to, and I just see people doing their normal stuff. It's like I could spend weeks, months just seeing that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Let's see. You think doing spreads with that much capital is too risky? Yeah, there's like no reason to. Like if you're retired, so like if you think you're retired, you don't have an income, and your plan is to live off of the capital that you've built up. There's no reason that would be straight up stupid to risk that much seed money. I mean, even like whatever with the SPY returning a certain percentage a year and selling, like that would make more sense than risking it all. I wouldn't. Yeah, no spreads. Maybe some leaps. Maybe. I want to get to 500,000 to $1 million account, then I'll transition to cash secured puts, God willing. Yeah, or you could incrementally do it too. I definitely want to retire outside of the U.S. though. The difference between, I don't know how much, I don't know, some people might not even be from the U.S., but man, other countries, you go outside and you have like you have people actually like people outside, and it's feels like a community. I don't know where I live. I mean, I haven't seen any of my neighbors outside or anything like that once in a while, but just totally different. And no need for me to live in, which is ridiculous, $1 million house, which is just house prices. That's your like little tiny house where I live. There's no reason to at all when I can go live somewhere else, and the cost of living is so low. But I went to Da Nang in Vietnam. I really like that city. I was thinking about moving to Europe for a few years. My parents are from there and they have an apartment over there. Hell yeah. Take as much time as you can. Like, if there's one thing I regret not doing more of, it's traveling. Especially now when we essentially can't travel like anywhere we want to, and it sucks. I'd like to do 5% in the index leaps, the rest cash secured puts. Yep. That sounds like a good plan. On Tastyworks, let's see. On Tastyworks on the graph, what does standard deviation mean? It's like standard deviation is like the like kind of like the expected move. And I don't know what there's actually. Let me see. I think there's a calculation to it. Not sure what technical. Let's see. Maybe it just uses. But that's what it is. It's like an expected move, essentially. And if it went outside another deviation, that would be twice the amount. We'll stick that up. Boom. Right off of Tasty Trade. What is standard deviation? Not only does standard deviation help traders quantify certain outcomes, it also shows us that while occurrences may appear random in the short term, the more occurrences we generate, the more consistent our results become, thousands of occurrences typically start to create a bell curve around the median value. Okay, so they use the Brooks-Scholes model. So if you want to dive into that, but it's an expected move. If you want to think of it as that. Oh, there we go. One standard EM, expected move. One standard deviation, expected move. Stock price, applied volatility, and day sell expiration. Cool. Plug it in. Oh, there you go. Times square root of day sell expiration. Yeah, I use that all the time. So it's so nice that they have it just on a chart there, huh? Oh, I gotta see. What is this guy? Oh, is this guy back working on my car yet? I think I hired like a mobile mechanic. He's not back yet. Okay. You have a picture of it? What? Like, where? Does it mean anything? Question is, does it mean anything more to you because you like know it, or like when you dove into it? I was thinking about that, like with put credit spreads, right? Or spreads in general. I don't think there's much value in learning exactly what happens with a credit spread. Like the fact something might get exercised, you have to purchase. You're going to be forced to sell shares at a certain price, go to the market and buy them, and then you have another one to protect your butt, so you don't have to buy them for way too cheap. I don't think any of that is really all that important. I think the only important thing to know is that above your short strike, you're getting all your money. Below your long strike, you're losing all of it, and anywhere in between, it might be somewhere kind of in there. But like the actual like underlying formulas under standard deviation, or like do you have a picture of the implied volatility calculation too? I think that one's pretty nuts. This is my phone. I don't like it either. Just use it as a gauge, just because I like Tom talking about it. I need to watch some more of his. What's the calculation formula? How about that? I think that one was. Doesn't actually show it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The implied volatility formula. Like, I literally just need to know that means it's more volatile. And as long as you understand what volatility is, the normal definition, and can apply that to a stock price, I think that's like all you really need to know. And I guess how it affects, like, because you need to know how implied volatility plays into the call and like just the option pricing, and how that works out, especially like with events coming up. That's funny that you have it though. One thing I don't understand is how implied volatility changes at different strikes. Well, Let's see. That's a good question. So first, I don't know what the risk-free rate is. Oh, probably because of these two. Because if the strike price and the price of the stock are part of that formula, they're the difference relative to one another is going to play into it then, right? Since that's a part of the IV formula. So that does make sense. Just seeing that. Because there's not going to be, like, we know a $100 put on Amazon or $100, like, we just know that's not going to have a lot of volatility at all. And because it's so far away relative to the actual strike price or the actual price of the stock, we know there'd be a lower implied volatility. But how that shows up in this formula, no clue. No clue. So I think it's just that difference. But yeah, I agree. I feel like knowing that calculation is pretty much what we learn in school. Learning stuff is that hard part to apply, and we don't need, but the experience is way more important. 100,000, yeah, 100%. You're right. Well, unless we have anything else we need to go over. Did I miss any? Let me see if I missed anything here. I think when I do these later, don't get as much people, and I still need to do the Zoom thing. I was planning on doing that, but my girlfriend wanted to go out to the casino last night. I might have drank over 2 beers and slept in for a long time today, maybe. And then still had to get all that stuff done. Still get her car fixed. Man, I don't want to be that guy. That sucks. Like the guy who's fixing my car. I don't know. He's like 50 years old. It's like 50 years old. His car is like terrible. And he's like running around town to go get a part from like a pick and part from my car. That sucks. I had some Coronas last night. I drink mostly IPAs, but you're from California, right? Where everybody drinks Coronas. I can't remember for sure, but I think I got a fly in here. That's annoying. I had some what was it called? Space dust. One of my favorites. Yes, sir. Sacramento. That's right. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Go see how this guy is doing on my car or my girlfriend's car. I cannot wait to get her Tesla next year. Then I never have to deal with starters or whatever it is, radiator fluid and all that crap ever again. That'll be super nice. But yeah, unless we have anything else we need to go over, I'm going to get out of here and turn my robots back on to do some more laundry and dishes and things. All right. I need to get a Tesla. Yes, you do. I think you will. Like, inevitably, you'll have one. No question. All right, guys. Love you, and we will see you on Monday. Hopefully we get something exciting going on and not a boring. No, I don't want to complain about boring anymore. As soon as I complained about boring last time, we had 2 days of crazy drop in Afghanistan and China and Singapore and yeah, never mind. We can have a nice boring week. All right, love you guys. Bye.